Well, today is day 2 of the state capture court saga. Day 1 saw opposition parties win the legal bid to intervene in the case. The DA, the EFF, COPE, the UDM and Vytjie Mentor are now allowed to intervene in President Jacob Zuma's application to interdict the release of the state capture report. In another development, Cooperative Governance Minister Des van Rooyen's application for an urgent interdict against the release of the report was struck off the roll. With that, the spotlight is now once again back on the President's application. The President and the Minister cited adverse findings likely to be made against them without being afforded an opportunity to answer the allegations levelled against them. Now, speaking to ANN7, the DA's James Self says that they will be arguing in court that Madonsela's state capture report is final and must be released, and the President can then take it under review.
We will be presenting the case that the report is indeed final and that it needs to be released and that the President's remedy, if he is unhappy with the contents of the report, is to take it on review. And the case is very clear that that is a final report, that those remedial action is binding unless taken on review. And I am very confident that the court will find that that is in fact the case.
Well, joining us now on the line from the North Gauteng High Court report, ANN7 reporter Giovanni Machani. Giovanni, I know it's still fairly early this morning, but is there any signs of support for the opposition parties or the President?
Good morning to you, Peter, and good morning to the viewers at home. Currently outside Pretoria High Court, those who spent the night, the EFF members who spent the night at Church Square as they were allowed to last night, have made their way. They are up, they are jovial, they're making their way up and down Madiba Street, which is the old Maryland Street. They're also making their way up and down Paul Kruger Street, just obviously making their presence known that they're up in the AM and they will be waiting for the court proceedings to follow. And we know that yesterday Julius Malema said that they will be continuing with their protest at 10 a.m. But those who spent the night at Church Square have obviously gotten up early and they acted again.
They must have been buoyed after what transpired in court yesterday.
Indeed, I think they're fueled by a number of things. We also know that the DA will be making their way to the Pretoria court. And I think the combination of the two will lead to an interesting day. But we also know that the police are also here. They have upped the numbers in terms of security and the vehicles that are present, just to make sure that it remains peaceful. But we know that the EFF this morning has made their way to almost state theatre sides of the Pretoria CBD, and they have been causing a bit of chaos in terms of traffic. But just be vigilant to the motorists travelling in town, and the police obviously will be of assistance as well.
Giovanni, are there signs of other political parties there, or is it just the EFF?
Currently, it's just the EFF, and it seems that they are here in more numbers than yesterday.
Okay, great. Giovanni, we'll leave it there. Giovanni Machani, they're live outside the North Gauteng High Court, which borders Church Square there, as the EFF members have spent the night there, and they will continue their support and that big march scheduled to take place in Pretoria today. We've got reporters on the ground there, and we'll keep you up to date throughout the day. Well, going back into the courtroom, former ANC MP Vytjie Mentor created quite a flutter in court yesterday. She said that she would have testified differently before former Public Protector Advocate Thuli Madonsela if she knew that the President would question witnesses in the state capture probe. This emerged in the North Gauteng High Court during the President's application for an interdict against the finalisation and release of the report. Mentor has been granted the right to intervene in the state capture case. In her statement, she said she would have been more circumspect if she had known that she would be cross-examined by the President. In response, the Zuma's lawyer said such a statement from Mentor is of concern. Later clarifying the statement, Mentor's lawyer said she only said this as she feared intimidation by the President. But ANC Secretary General Gwede Mantashe argued that Mentor may have lied in her private testimony to the Public Protector. He questioned why Mentor would fear being interviewed by the President.
If Vytjie says if he was going to be asked questions by the president, he would have said things softer. Actually, that can be interpreted in many ways, that actually he lied in his affidavit. He would have said something different if he knew that the president was asking questions. Because when you make a sworn affidavit, you are making a sworn affidavit that you can repeat in the presence of anybody. Now, if you say you'd have said it different and softer, it means you use the opportunity of being alone there to lie.
Well, analysts, however, saying that Mentor's flip-flop is of concern and may give a crucial lifeline to the president in the state capture case.
A fake Mentor statement in court today has given President Zuma a lifeline regarding this matter, despite the fact that the court was going to sit tomorrow and decide whether the report should be released or not, or decide whether the president can interview and or interrogate witnesses or people who were interviewed by the PP.
If you make a statement and you say it under oath that such an event happened at such a point in time, you've got to be ready to defend that. Now that she will be questioned, she says, well, you know, for fear of intimidation, if I knew that I was going to be questioned by the president, then I wouldn't have made such a statement. Then the court should say, well, Ms. Mentor, are your statements correct or not? Because now her reputation is at stake.
The only thing, of course, is one might think that because of the gravity of this matter, we're not talking about a person being approached by a traffic officer at a robot. We're talking about a person potentially saying that the president of the country is influenced by certain individuals in the country, and that is why the position was offered to her. And that is, of course, a very grave statement to make. And if you believe that's what happened, then, of course, you should back yourself to do lay criminal charges. But that might have caused her to think twice. You might think, well, listen, this is the top position in the country. Maybe I won't get a fair trial if I go that route. Maybe she was waiting for an opportunity to maybe be corroborated by other people saying a similar story. But it's difficult to gauge in what respect she would have changed her affidavit.